Watch the games on their huge Jumbotron. Challenge your friends to beer pong, cornhole, and oversized Connect 4 in their new adult lounge. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for incredible wings, the best boiled seafood, and a new breakfast menu. Saturday and Sunday starting at 9. Crush the follow on Facebook to catch huge game day specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
From the Auburn Sports Network, Alpha Insurance presents Auburn Sports Today. Here's Brad Law.
Oklahoma's defense is among the best statistically in the country. Hugh Freeze on game planning for the Sooners.
I do believe in studying third down and red zone and goal line a lot more than these open field deals. You know, I'm going to look at the data, and it's going to say every time we're in 2x2, the stats say that their number one coverage is 4 or it's 3 week, or, you know, I'm going to look at all of that. But my experience is that I thought y'all told me it was quarters when we went 2x2, and they ain't played quarters yet. You know, so if your whole game plan is based on what somebody told you the data said, I mean, that's good to have on a sheet of paper, but you better understand your offense and be able to say, they're not playing us quarters like you said, and we have to, what do you go to next? And I think the good coaches that understand who they are and how to make adjustments can get you into a play that has a chance for success. I think that's the most important thing, is that I look at the film after a game and can stand before our players and say there are very few plays, hopefully none, but there are very few plays that schematically didn't have a chance for success. Now, yeah, they beat us on this block, but schematically these are good calls.
Kickoff for the Tigers and Sooners is 2:30 Saturday. Coverage at 11:30 Saturday morning. Until tomorrow, I'm Brad Law for Auburn Sports Today.
PLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lumen. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
I'm sick and tired of carrying all the weight.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action. Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
The product on the field is pathetic.
The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome to the Sports Blitz. You're listening here on 104.3 ESPN. A little bit of technical difficulties before we started, so we just had to get that going. But we're so glad that you're here. Bone Crusher's got everything fixed. He is a magician in the bubble. So either way, it's a Wednesday. It's 4 o'clock. We're excited. We got Tennessee Brandon in the house. We got LSU Jeff in the house. And like I said, we got Bone Crusher here. The four of us are going to be spending the next 2 hours with you talking about everything from SEC to the NFL to anything in between. So we're so thankful that you're here with us. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. Brandon, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, getting over my sorrows from this weekend. Team fumbled the bag over Georgia this weekend. Not too upset about it, man. We look good. There's a lot of good things to take away from the game. So took a day to cry over it a little bit, and let's move forward, man. UAB this weekend. That's not a make it or break it game, that Georgia game. So we got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Jeff, how you doing, man? You got the Mob Town in your house. Thank you so much. That's shout out to Mobile, Alabama, my birthplace. So thank you, Jeff. I appreciate
got a little
that.
battleship on the right here, right?
Yeah, no, it's on the on the right.
Yeah,
My right, your left.
Wrong
Sorry.
right.
And then, of course, the iconic building, which you always see when you're entering the tunnel.
Yeah. So, yeah man.
And how you feel about the tunnel?
I mean, it is the tunnel.
It's the tunnel.
I mean,
let me tell you what people don't like about the tunnel. Coming from the Eastern Shore on the bridge, and it's like Labor Day weekend especially.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, and it's like it's all backed up to like Spanish Fort.
Spanish Fort, yeah. And
like,
what's worse is 5 o'clock traffic coming from Mobile to go across the bay, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, work in Mobile but live in Baldwin County, which is crazy. A bunch. I
mean, let's be honest. A lot of people, especially Louisiana people, if they're going to live somewhere in Alabama, they like the Eastern Shore, man.
Oh, yeah. It's nice over there.
Fairhope, Daphne, Foley, all the way on down to Orange Beach and Gulf Shores.
Yeah. It's great over there.
Yeah.
You know, so either way, got to bring up something today, guys, that, we always talk about something early on in the show, and just wanted to talk about this. Happy birthday to Patrick Mahomes. 30 years old today. Didn't realize he had hit 30, but Patrick Mahomes, if you're listening, happy birthday, my friend. 0-2 right now. Let me ask you guys a question. How many years do you think he's got left? Like, honestly, because when you look at him, he's 30 years old. He's achieved, greatness already. Obviously, we've seen this year, the first year in a long time for them not to really look great. And one thing that's really telling of this year's team that hasn't hardly ever been is that he's running the ball more. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but he's starting to run the ball a lot more. So, I mean, we know that possibly with Travis and Taylor getting married, that Travis might be gone. So how much longer does Patrick have? I mean, realistically, when you look at it,
I think we got to pump the brakes first of all. I mean, I'm not a chief wagoneer or anything like that, but let's cut him a little bit of slack. The first game, in a different country in Brazil? Yeah. So totally out of routine, nothing of the such. Then your second game, you're playing Super Bowl champions from last year. So you got your first two tough games. I think it's super hard to judge them based off what they've shown us over the past few years to kind of go ahead and, jump to that conclusion. Yeah. So let's slow the roll a little bit there. But as far as to answer your question, as far as how many years he's got left to play, I'm going to look at the Brady timeline here. I mean, if he is chasing that, I think he's going to play another 10 years.
Oh, wow. So you do believe he could go in his 40s?
Why not? I mean, with the technology, the things they're learning, and I think if they change all these fields to some grass fields and get away from this darn turf that everybody's getting hurt on, I think the longevity of his career could be extended.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good possibility. Jeff, what do you think about Patrick Mahomes?
So you have to ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. And the first one is, did he turn 31?
30.
Okay, so 10, you're barely getting in.
I mean, he's younger than I am.
It's not the tail. I mean, his next question is, what kind of person is he? Is he one that wants to collect records, get Super Bowl wins? What's his drive?
Yeah.
Third thing is, Reed's not going to be there in 10 years.
No.
We don't know if he's going to be with the Chiefs. What if the Chiefs organization, which usually treats their employees, we'll call them employees, very good in keeping talent and bringing in talent and nurturing environment to where, they're not the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cleveland, but, you got what you got.
Yeah.
If they don't have weapons in the future and he gets sacked a whole bunch of times, maybe a concussion, I'm not saying it's Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck was a very unusual situation where he retired still doing great things, right?
Right.
So you have all these questions and scenarios, and you start losing. You lose your drive when you start losing. You don't have that coach. Anything could happen with this. The coaching could not be there. The players surrounding you could not be there. Maybe you get in a situation where Manning was at the Colts. You might go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So many points. And then, to me, people do consider their health more often nowadays, more than ever. And that's the reason why people retire. I mean, my buddy today asked me, hey, where's Peyton Hillis? And I was like, well, the Giants cut him, and then his doctor told him, hey, you need to retire. Your concussions, man.
Yeah.
And so he retired, He was a little running back for the Browns.
Good enough to make the cover one year.
Played at Arkansas with McFadden and Jones.
He was great.
He was great. But, there's a point where your doctor tells you, hey, man, those concussions, you got to go.
Yeah.
And he took the advice of the doctor, and I'm not saying that Mahomes is going to get that, but running aloof like this at age 30, it's a young age, I know. Don't get me wrong, it's not old, but anything could happen with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking, and Brandon brought it up, talking about the Brady or Manning, which you said, and then you talk about Rodgers playing into his 40s as well. He's already in their status to me as far as being in that conversation of being one of the greats. So realistically, it is about his drive, but that's a really unique point that you made. I think that really made me think a little bit more that you're right. Like, it's not necessarily his being able to play, but he's going to have to change coaches. And a lot of people can say what they want, but a lot of their success is built on Andy Reid's ability to play calling, and also, like you said, the Chiefs just being able to get the people that fit their scheme and fit what they're trying to do. So realistically, it's going to be, how long Andy Reid lasts more than how long Patrick Mahomes lasts. Here I am thinking about weapons, but when you look at what Brady did, and even what Peyton did when he had Dallas Clark and Marvin Harrison and all of those guys, when he went over to the Broncos, they just changed names and numbers on the back because he was doing the same thing, which is the same thing that Brady did. I mean, he went down to Tampa Bay and looked
both
just
Peyton
good.
and Tom both left and won championships somewhere else. So, I mean, it can be done without the coach that you've had and the coach that you've counted on. So I think a lot of it does have to do with the player. I mean, those are obviously the two top examples, the two most extreme examples of this happening. But, I mean, for the last few years, he has been categorized with those two guys. So to weigh him up against it, I think is a fair comparison. So, I mean, if they can do it, he can do it. I don't think it's totally Andy Reid. Now, obviously, the combination, the scheme, the play calling, all of it, like Jeff said, there's so many variables, it's hard to even tell. Without asking all these questions and without knowing all these answers, what it'll bring. But, I mean, he's proven that he can win without weapons. The year he lost Tyreek Hill, they won a Super Bowl. He's proved he can do it. And like you said, he's running a little more this year. I think he's trying to figure something out. I don't think they're as good as they've been in the past. But, only time will tell really kind of what happens there.
I got one name for you.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
He wasn't going for the numbers, and he was tired of the Lions organization not doing anything for him around him and making a chance, at a Super Bowl. So what did he do? He says, well, I don't care. I got enough money, enough success. I've got all these numbers. I don't need to be number one of all time. And he just retired and just walked away from it.
Yeah, there would be no possible way within the next 5 to 7 years that the Chiefs would draft a quarterback. I'm saying like what the Packers did to Aaron Rodgers. They wouldn't do that. Don't forget, that's exactly what happened with Peyton Manning at the Colts. They drafted Andrew Luck. Like, realistically, they had a conversation with them.
Yeah, but he was from Stanford. Were you 100% on Andrew Luck coming out of college? No,
they were.
Which is surprising.
Yeah.
They knew something. They knew the guy was smart. He's really smart.
Yeah.
But, the smartest quarterback isn't always the best quarterback.
Not necessarily, yeah.
It helps out.
It helps.
But not for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm just saying that you don't have to be, I don't even know who to... Elon Musk is not going to play quarterback.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
there's got to be other things involved than just brain power.
Yeah, no, that's realistically the case. I mean, when you've got to have a lot of things when you're playing quarterback in the NFL. If you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, I know we really are harsh on them. We're harsh on the kids in high school. We're harsh on the kids more in college and pro than we are anybody else. But the position of a quarterback is so hard and complex, and being able to come up with knowing what they're running on defense, being able to check out of a play to check into a new play, being able to just know the plays is crazy. We watched the Netflix commentary that they did on quarterbacks, and I'll never forget it. I was watching it, and they were talking about Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins was talking with his wife, and they were going over the plays, and just the play name. I mean, it's just crazy.
Just the memorization of these names.
Yeah, just to know what the play is and to know where your first read is, because it's not every play is not you go from your right to your left.
Yeah.
It could be from your left to the right. And it could be what person are you looking at first? Are you looking at the X? Are you looking at the Y? Are you looking at the Z? Are you looking at your running back?
And depending on if they're in cover 2, cover 1, or man, your read may start with this guy or it may start with this guy.
Right. You're watching for the blitz. You don't know if they're blitzing. You don't know if the safety's going to walk down and join the group or what, who's going to be guarding your running back out of the backfield. Are you going to throw, are you going to change what the route is? Are you going to flip it to the other side? Are you going to, check down to a run? Are you going to make it a straight off tackle run? Are you going to do some kind of lead run? Are you going to do a toss sweep? I mean, there's a lot of different things brought into it. And I think that's like the key. And, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, when you look at how they run their offense, they've had Eric Bieniemy there. Now he's gone. They've had other people there. Now they're gone. So realistically, it's been him and Andy Reid. But man, it could be a possibility within 3 to 5 years. Andy Reid is not. I'm not trying to be rude at all, but Andy Reid doesn't look like a big wealth of health standing on the sidelines over there. I mean, how much longer can he walk up and down the sidelines and like honestly coach? Even though he's sharp in his brain, but I mean, physically, he's not, looking great over there. So yeah, next 2-3 years, you're looking at a coaching change in Kansas City. And then your question is what's Patty going to do with a new coach? Are they going to bring in somebody from more familiar? Are they going to, upgrade and put their offensive coordinator in there? Are they going to bring somebody back? Like that's the kind of thing that's really going to make you wonder what Patrick Mahomes is going to do.
Yeah, because it was Dennis Green was the Saints coach that was elevated from coordinator. Is that what? No, not Dennis Green. It was Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. Yeah.
And
didn't work out.
Didn't work out. It's coordinator, And then Jimmy Johnson, from the Cowboys, he gets replaced with Switzer.
Yeah.
From college ranks, and
it worked out 1 year.
It worked out 1 year because they had so much talent. You couldn't deny them another title.
Well, everybody said that was Johnson's team, and they just changed the face. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, and they already had a program where they were working with for a few years. 6 years, we'll say, where they knew what to do. They didn't need him.
Well, to answer a little bit of your question, in 2020, he signed a 10-year contract, so he's under contract until 2031. So
5-6 more years, But, and back when we were talking about not everybody can be a QB, you have to be able to multitask.
Yeah.
And you can't be slightly ADHD like I was when I was younger. No, I mean ADHD.
Or like I am now.
I'm great for being.
I was going to say it, but I was waiting for something to happen.
I played wide receiver. That's where your ADHD people should probably go. You have high energy and you have great focus.
Yeah, if you played baseball, you'd need to be the catcher.
Yeah. Because you know where it's coming from.
He'd be in right field out there. I could see Jeff right now. Big old Jeff. When he was a kid, he's a big old boy.
That's me right there.
He's out there picking lilies in the grass.
Or the mosquitoes, because you're in Louisiana. You got the mosquitoes. Like, damn mosquitoes, and here comes a ball.
Yeah. So, I could see that definitely playing off. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Jeff, let me say this about you real quick, too, while we're on you for a second. So, you say on the air, they played on Wednesday, and obviously they didn't play on Wednesday. They played on Thursday. Jeff, you're in the middle of your point. Jeff said, they played on Thursday. It's like, okay, sorry.
Get it
My
right.
bad. Which is great because, that's why we work together so good. I think it's a good deal. But yeah, when you look at them, he's going to finish his contract. I feel like he's a high character kind of guy. He's going to lose some of the people that he started with, like, Travis Kelce. He's going to lose some of those people, and then they're going to bring in new people. But if you remember, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but when the year that Brady had Randy Moss, that was their most talented and their most record-breaking, but they lost the championship. I mean, and I get it. Everybody says, that was just a fluke that the Giants, but no, the Giants beat them that night. They did. Whether they'd beat them every single time, I don't know. But realistically, it's not always the most talented team that wins. It's usually just, somehow, some way in one game. That's the deal with the pros.
The 98 Vikings, when they lost to the Falcons in the NFC Championship, that was one where they had Moss and Carter and Reed was the 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Randall Cunningham. It was Culpepper.
Yeah, Dante Culpepper.
I mean, dude, come on. I mean, outside of Favre and, Bledsoe actually had a really good Patriots team about that time, but the Vikings that year were just unbelievable.
Yeah, they were good.
And the Bucs were just building their defense to be where they could have been, but they were the team that year, and that's a missed opportunity for the Vikings. Haven't been in the Super Bowl since the 70s, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an organization that almost seems cursed.
Yeah.
And they're not the Browns. It's not like they have lots of talent. The Vikings have had it over and over and over again and just haven't done anything with it.
Yeah. Well, and they lost to, you said the Falcons, and that was the year that Dan Reeves with the Dirty Bird, right? Jamal Anderson was the running back.
Yep.
I mean, a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Really?
They weren't even close to what the Vikings had that year.
No,
And
talent-wise.
it was all because of a missed field goal. They were up by 7. The Vikings missed the field goal with a few minutes left. Falcons tied, put it into overtime, and win.
Yeah.
Bone Crusher probably remembers that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a great game. Vikings missed that field goal. The Great Dane, Morton Anderson, steps in for the Falcons and sends us to our first Super Bowl. I mean, Dan Reeves should be in the Atlanta Falcons Hall of Fame. Jamal Anderson, Chris Chandler, Jesse Tuggle, all them guys.
Yeah. Did you do the dance? Did you do the Dirty Bird?
I did the Dirty Bird, yeah.
Well, we might have to get a video of that later on and put that on Facebook. That'll be fantastic. But either way.
I agree, yeah.
But, yeah, when you look at those guys, and right now, let me ask you this since we're going to be going to a break, and I don't want to go into our next segment. But right now, as we sit, if you looked at the NFL, give me who you guys think are your top 5 quarterbacks. Now, when you look at that, I'm giving you time to think. When you're saying your top 5 quarterbacks, could you take these 5 quarterbacks and put them anywhere and they be just as successful? I'm not asking you to look at a quarterback that's in a system that works for their type of play, but could they work everywhere? Could they work at most places? 9 times out of 10, would they work? Would they still be a winner? Would they be a team that would win games? And that's really how, who would be your top 5 quarterbacks? And that's realistically the question, saying who would be the ones. Who wants to go first? Brandon, do you want to go first or Jeff?
Two come to mind top, and I mean, it's going to be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I think they're two that could go anywhere they wanted to, and their athletic ability, I don't think it's necessarily a system. You can run any system with those two guys, and I think they'd be totally fine.
Yeah, so you got just 2? That's all you got?
2 right now at the top of my head, and I'm still sitting here thinking.
Do you got 5?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. There is not a single quarterback in the NFL could win with 9 out of 10 teams in the league, because there's that many organizations that are dysfunctional and cannot win it because of their, not just their players, but their organization as they build and as they train.
And you're saying
I'm saying
the
that
Saints, the Carolina Panthers, the Browns.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. I mean,
right now it's the Giants. The Giants are so upside down.
I think the Giants, you could put, if you brought Patrick Mahomes and gave them a full offseason to learn, I think with Malik Neighbors, with some of their running back, with that defense that they've got, I think they will be a playoff team day one, immediate.
I mean, my other 3, give me Patrick. I think he's good enough to go anywhere. If Joe Burrow would not be the next Andrew Luck and would stay healthy, I believe that he is a talent that could go anywhere. And then right now, last year, based off his rookie season, Jaden Daniels is athletic. He reminds me of like a Lamar 2.0. I think he could probably go anywhere.
He's either going to be a Lamar 2.0 or a RG3 2.0, one of the two.
Is that just because he's playing for Washington?
No, that's because he got hurt with a knee and he's out this week. So.
So the most interesting thing,
I'm not laughing at him. I'm just laughing at you.
I mean, obviously the 3 in the AFC that he's talking about, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, are probably the top 3.
Yeah.
The question is, other players like Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, those are the ones that you have to be like, could they win with other teams? Because look, Rodgers couldn't win with the Jets.
No, he couldn't.
In his prime, he could.
I don't know. That seems pretty dysfunctional also.
In his prime, he could win with the Jets. He could do better than what he did. in his prime. He wasn't there.
With the weapons the Jets had in his prime there.
Yeah.
Which they've
had great defenses, the Jets have.
They've had
good defenses
really
in the past, especially the last few years.
They've squandered their picks too.
Yeah,
they've had some really good picks.
Yeah.
But let me just throw this out there, and you guys can chew on this so I'm going to agree with you on the fourth. So you got Mahomes, you got Jackson, you got Josh Allen. I'm going Burrow right there. Obviously, you don't want to get hurt. But let me just throw this out there to you. Number 5 for me, and he's basically just proven it everywhere that he's went. He was good, and that's Baker Mayfield. Ooh. You can say what you want. You can say what you want.
You want to know who I thought you were going to say?
Who?
Jared Goff.
No.
I thought he was going to maybe like the Justin Herbert.
No.
Before the moving around team.
Let me just go ahead and tell you this right here. Let me just tell you this. So regular season stats since 2023, passing yards, Joe Burrow checks in at 7,416. Lamar Jackson checks in at 8,284. Patrick Mahomes checks in at 8,556. Josh Allen checks in at 8,579. Baker Mayfield checks in at 8,926. Wow. Passing touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes 55, Josh Allen 59, Joe Burrow 60, Lamar Jackson 71, Baker Mayfield 74.
I had Baker on my fantasy team last year. Good waiver wire pickup. Worked out very nicely.
So Bradford. Well, I mean, let's keep on talking about Baker. I mean,
well, I think
you proved your point. Obviously,
I think that's the key.
And it's sad because they're in a division where he can't compare against anybody else.
Right.
It's worse than Josh Allen being compared to anybody in his division.
Yeah, but
because the Dolphins are down.
So look at what he's done though. Everywhere he's went, he's won.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he took the Browns to the playoffs, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Was he at the Rams 1 year?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He was the backup.
Yeah.
He was.
He came in.
He came in and played some. Yep.
Yeah.
Went to Carolina. Did fine over there.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
wow.
He's a ball player.
He's a baller.
He really is.
And I'm not a fan of him. I hated him in
I'm
Oklahoma.
not necessarily a fan of him either, but I mean, a guy that can go to that many organizations, pick up the offense, and be successful anywhere.
Yeah.
Good ball player.
Yeah. So
is Jordan Love a top 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, now he is. Either way, we're going to go ahead and take our break. And when we come back, we've got Aaron Building in the building on the phone. You're listening to the Sports Blitz, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Sunday, it's an NFL doubleheader. First, the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Coverage starts at 3. Kickoff at 3:25. Followed by the 0-2 Chiefs at the New York Giants. Sunday Night Football. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN. Touchdown! Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Sunny the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze at 10 miles per hour coming out of the south-southwest and temps near 88. Tonight we will have clear skies and a wind speed of 2 miles per hour and be warm at 73. Sunny tomorrow and a high 90 with a light breeze. Sunshine Friday with a temp of 89. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you looking to invest in rare coins and precious metals? Well, look no further. Coin and Bullion Reserves is Bay County's trusted source for rare coins and precious metals. Located in the heart of Panama City, our showroom is stocked with a vast selection of gold and silver bullion, rare coins, and currency. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned collector, we have what you're looking for. Our sales staff has over 50 years of experience to help guide you through your purchase. Come and visit Coin and Bullion Reserves today and build your collection with confidence.
In a world full of noise, one name cuts through it all. Amplify AI. We help HVAC, plumbing, and home service pros get found fast. More leads, more calls, more results. This ain't just marketing. It's AI-powered performance. Amplify AI. Hear the roar. Call Lee at 850-299-1269. Amplify AI. That bear ain't just for show.
Rich Eisen Show.
A rhetorical question, which means I already know the answer and it does not require an answer.
We'll give you one. Yeah,
Man, I really want to answer.
Yeah,
Do you think the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell were sending a message on Sunday? Do you? Our favorite Bill Burr soundbite.
Oh, do you?
They were sending a message.
Mighty Ducks. Not worth winning if you can't win big.
Rich Eisen weekdays starting at 11. Now on ESPN Northwest Florida. You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. And now the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host, Paul Wilson.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Sports Blitz.
We're starting fresh.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We got Jeffrey in the house. We got Brandon in the house. We got Bone Crusher here in the house, and we're killing it on this Wednesday. It's hump day, baby. We know that we're almost halfway there. We're almost done with this week. We got great plans over the weekend, some great games coming up. Just want to talk real quick about some cool stuff that's been going on with baseball. I know some of you guys that you are listening, you only want to talk about football, but we got to throw it in here because we've got about 11 games to go, and we've got some stuff that's just going on that's crazy. Like, we've got records that are just unbelievable right now for the baseball world, and you got to look at it. Never has it ever happened. Did I say ever or did I say never? I said both. Never, ever has it ever happened that in the same season a player has hit 50 home runs and had 50 strikeouts. Well, guess what? Until last night, Shohei Ohtani broke that barrier. Wow. 50 home runs, 50 strikeouts. Jeff's laughing, but I'm telling you, the guy is unbelievable. He's already, and I know we've talked about this in the other shows before, he's already hit GOAT status. He's already hit the status of a Hall of Famer. He's first ballot to me. When you do the things that he's done and do it that well, there's just really nothing else you can say about that. And you know what? I should have came in here with my Dodger jersey on and should have just said, you know what? Shohei's in the building, but not really.
Okay, let's clarify. These are strikeouts that he struck the person out.
Yeah,
not
pitching.
him striking out.
That's not impressive.
You made it sound like he's striking out as a batter. No, because that's his main position would be a batter. To me,
he's a starting pitcher.
Yeah, no. Well, he's a starting pitcher, but he also plays other positions.
No, he just DHs.
So when you first said it, I was like, "Wait, what? Like that's not impressive at all."
So last year he went 50 and 52, but he went 50 stolen bases and 50 home runs.
Correct.
Now, this year he's hit 50 home runs,
50, and
which is absolutely absurd. I mean, those are just unrealistic video game type of numbers.
Yeah, consecutive years of 50-plus home runs. I mean, just really
and
good.
This is why he's the odds favorite for MVP. I mean, like negative or minus 10,000 for the favorite, which is like just might as well give him the trophy.
Who's the second place in the NL?
I mean, it's not.
Nobody really knows. Kyle Schwarber, because he's hit 50 home runs too.
Yeah.
But Dumper last night, Kyle Riley hit 2. So he's getting closer and closer.
We were just talking about 6 home runs, and I was like, I think he can do it.
Yep, he's got 4 left. He's got 11 ball games. So there you go. He's got to hit 4 in 11 to get 60. Mm-hmm. So if he does hit 60, this has been one of the talks that we've talked about during the shows on Thursday or Friday. Does he automatically begin to be the MVP? Because, I know you're like real heavy in saying that he should get it.
Yep.
And, if you look at the numbers, did you want to look at the numbers?
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I got them right here. Just
because
so
I know you're going to tell me how Judge is the man.
All right, well, let's just look at the 2025 season. Aaron Judge versus Kyle Riley. All right, here we go. 141 games, Judge. 148 games, Riley. Hits, 164 Judge, 137 Riley. Batting average, Judge at 326, Riley at 247. OBP, 451 for Judge, 361.
You might as well just stop it right now. Unless you hit RBIs and they're
40. All right, you're not going to know what all this other stuff is.
No, I know what WAR is and all that.
All right, but 48 home runs, Judge, 56. 103 RBIs, Judge, 118, Big Dumper.
My question is, it's called the MVP, most valuable player. Now, who is the most valuable to their team? Would the Yankees still be a playoff team if Judge wasn't on the team?
Yes.
I think
barely.
I mean, with one of the highest payrolls in baseball, you better hope so. He's spending all that money.
What was their record when the 7 games that he missed? Was he missed 7 games?
I think they were like 500, something like that.
Now, 4-3.
Now, my other question is, are the Mariners in if Cal Riley is not on that team?
They're not.
They're not even close.
No, they're not. The Rangers are in there, and the Mariners are out.
But if you look at the Mariners, they've won 10 straight games.
10 straight.
But the problem is where my whole argument collapses when he said 247.
Yeah.
That batting average just put a dagger through my heart.
Yeah, because it's hard to say that the guy that is in the top 3 of home runs in all of baseball is leading baseball in batting average.
Now, does that batting average, that obviously combines his left and right at-bats, correct? That is his switch hit average?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to see the numbers individually where he bats right versus left and kind of see those weighed. He's a switch hitter. I don't see Judge doing that. Judge cannot bat on both sides of the plate. That is a talent in itself. So I think that is an extremely hard thing to do. I think that carries weight in itself. I think somebody who switch and can bat on both sides of the plate against a right-handed and a left-handed pitcher, I believe somebody like that is more valuable and is more impressive to hit a 250 batting average than a 300 being able to bat on both sides of the plate.
Do these two teams, they have the same record, or they're right at each other?
Right at each other, yeah. They've moved ahead of the Houston Astros in the division, and the Astros now are fighting for the playoff spot.
But the difference between one game in that division is the 3 or the 6 seed. So obviously the Yankees being the 4 seed means they have a better record.
Yeah, they do.
By a game or two, probably. But
by one game.
Let me ask y'all this as far as the MVP conversation, because we have these things that we do during the year, but does the home run derby to you have any bearing on the MVP? Because it's not a thing about your team, but it is something that you do. Now, there is a deal in this whole thing where a lot of times, I don't know the statistics on it, I don't know the exact numbers on it, but there are guys that have won the home run derby or competed in the home run derby and went into super, super big slumps right after. And the thing is that's kind of what's so impressive is that he's not slumped at all. He hasn't lost his ability to hit home runs. Now, was that impressive that he had he hit from both sides of the plate during the home run derby as well as being just being a switch hitter?
I think so. I mean, I'm not a switch hitter. I would not be talented about on one side of the plate. However, I would assume just like any of us doing anything, you get into a rhythm. And he was probably trying to find out his rhythm. I'm sure there are some games or weeks or whatever where he's like, man, I'm killing it left-handed. I want to stay over here. But then you get a right-handed pitcher or whatever. You get somebody throwing something funky and you need to swap sides of the plate. You may not be doing it, but it's going to give you and your team the best shot to put a runner in a position, etc. I do think it's super, super impressive, to be honest with you.
So if you break records during the season that you're the MVP, does that have a bearing on whether or not you're the MVP? Because what you said in the beginning was most valuable player to your team, which is what the award is called.
Yes.
But does that have any bearing on it as well? Because nobody has done what Kyle Riley has done since Mickey Mantle. So, I mean, that's been a long, 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 long time ago. And what he's done, and now he's he's doing commercials. I mean, for T-Mobile. I mean, now he's starting to be somebody.
Yeah.
So is this just his year? I mean, is there going to be fan fatigue on voting for Judge instead of the new guy because everybody likes a new guy story. Everybody likes the fact that his dad called him the big dumper when he was a kid. You know, his dad threw to him in the home run derby.
Yeah, that was
his
cool.
brother caught for him while he was in the home run derby. So everybody is kind of knowing who this kid is. And or I say kid, yeah, I mean, he's younger than me, but when you look at him and you're like, wow, this guy's doing something great. Does that have any bearing on it? Winning the home run derby, doing something that hadn't been done since Mickey Mantle. Because records, you know, when you break a record, that's something huge, you know. I mean, that's a huge thing for the season. And he's definitely having the season that nobody really has had in a long time. And so now he's tied with Ken Griffey Jr., who is the most famous Seattle Mariner player in the history of Seattle Mariner players. And he's tied him for the most home runs ever that he had ever hit. If he hits more home runs than Ken Griffey Jr. has ever hit, if he hits more home runs than Mickey Mantle has ever hit, switch hitting, and then he outduels Aaron Judge with home runs and RBIs, which it looks like he's going to do, and lead his team to the playoffs, who is not a team that is always going to the playoffs and doesn't have this big, high, money market.
For sure.
Is he the MVP?
I'm not voting. However, I would lean toward that. Now, when are these votes casted? Is it after the regular season? After all regular season games?
Yeah, it's after the regular season, yeah. Okay. The regular season, once the regular season.
The playoffs don't have any implication on it?
Not really. No.
Personally,
they'll do it during the playoffs.
I wouldn't say record means a whole lot, but they're one game behind. I mean, if he leads them to have a better record than the Yankees, I think it should be a foregone conclusion that he would be the MVP. Because I know winning matters to these voters. I know they don't always look in depth to some of these things.
Well, and you got to think, too, the way it's set up is they have pushed the batting average out. I mean, there's only 7 or 8 people hitting over 300 right now in all of Major League Baseball, which used to be a big deal. Mm-hmm. Batting average used to be a big deal. It's not anymore. It used to be first. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
in the 80s, it was number one, and then it was before home runs and RBIs are the second and third biggest thing. And on-base percentage kind of really came into its own in the 90s.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at it, what Aaron Judge is doing better than with him is really not looked at as hot anymore. And then, like what you said, you know, I mean, with the team that he has, I mean, when he's got more opportunity, and not to say that the Mariners don't hit the ball, because they totally do. I mean, they're a playoff team. They're really doing good. They shocked me. I thought they were going to be the first team out. There's no way now. I mean, there is if they were to go on some big losing streak, but they're dominating. And the thing is that Julio Rodriguez is the star of that team. He's the one that was supposed to lead them. He's the one that's making the most money. He's the one that everybody's got their jersey up until this year. And now Kyle Riley has just taken that over. And so, you know, here sitting thinking and talking and looking, even though we've got the stats in front of us, it just feels like that this year is going to be a Kyle Riley MVP because he's never been there. He's not in a big market. But I know that there's fans out there that says, you know what, Judge is the most valuable player. There's no way you can say he's not. But realistically, you know, he led all the Yankees last year right into the playoffs, and then, you know, lost to the Dodgers. But still, I mean, so if you had to vote, hearing all of it done, you know, here we are sitting in courtroom, and now you get to select whether it's Kyle Riley or Aaron Judge. Who are you going to say you would pick, and then who do you think is actually going to win it?
I don't vote on emotions, and he is an emotional vote, is what Riley is. And then with a 247, I'm out. I can't vote for Riley.
All right, so you say no, but do you think he's going to get it?
I think we got 11 games left. And, you know, I mean, Judge hits 10 RBIs, and he's really closer. Then Judge is definitely going to get it.
Now, Judge is still the favorite right now. He's still a minus 1,000 favorite. And Cal Riley is still a plus 500, which the betting odds are saying that Cal Riley is going to have to come and take this. That right now it's with Judge. If things just happened the way it happened. He hits a home run, Judge hits a home run.
Something like, he can't make it the 255 or 260 batting average too late.
He needs like a 3 home run game. Yeah. He's going to have a couple of staple games in these last 11 games for them to win those last few votes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm voting for Judge today.
And then you think he deserves it?
Today he does. Yeah. 11 games later, it could get closer. You know?
Yeah. And you think Judge?
I think Riley deserves it. I think that Judge will win it. Just big market, big name, something like that.
But the emotional voters, they vote.
Somebody last name Wilson just wrote on Facebook, "Go Yankees." So we're going to leave that there. And
listen, your son needs to get off of that.
It's not my son. So either way, when we come back, we will start talking about more of college football. We're excited. This is a big weekend. You're listening to the Sports Blitz here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
I'm not saying it's his fault, okay? I'm not blaming Joe Burrow. That offensive line is absolutely putrid. In the same breath, Joe Burrow signed up for that offensive line because he's the one that decided he wanted to play general manager this offseason. So this is a situation of his own making in terms of how this roster is constituted, the pieces that are around him.
Evan Canty and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Saturday, September 27th, come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. That's right. Get 20 to 50 acres in Baldwin County from just $139.9 with excellent financing available. Ranches at Creekside Preserve features private large acreage tracts with beautiful woodlands, rolling meadows, and a peaceful creek, all surrounded by pristine natural beauty and abundant wildlife. It's your opportunity to live in Baldwin County, Alabama, one of the fastest growing coastal counties in the U.S. due to low taxes and a low cost of living. Don't miss out. Come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. Call 877-888-1415 or go to creeksidepreserveal.com. That's creeksidepreserveal.com.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the SEC.
Arnold beats up to the end zone.
Jackson Arnold leads the 3-0 and 22nd ranked Auburn Tigers into Oklahoma to face his former team, the 3-0 11th ranked Sooners.
Kickoff Saturday, 2:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. The new Sports Blitz.
Oh, yes!
Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're pumped up here on the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so thankful that you've decided to spend your afternoon with us here in Panama City Beach. No matter where you're listening from, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or if you're checking us out on the radio or any other options, which is the ESPN app. You should go ESPN Northwest Florida. You'll find us there. It's a free app. You can log on and cost you nothing. You can take us wherever you want. You can listen while you're riding or wherever you're at. You can do that. That would be great. Don't forget, also, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're pumped up. We're excited. You know, a lot of things are going on in the college football world. One big thing that has been said that to happen, and I wanted to get y'all's reaction about it, but it just came out today that the coach, the running backs coach for the Florida Gators, has been suspended for 3 games going forward. The running backs coach And we're going to be talking with a Florida insider about a lot of this, but I just thought that was crazy. I don't know what happened, but all I know is that Jabbar Jalouk, which is his name, he was involved in all of the pushing and shoving going on in the beginning of the game. Everybody knows.
It was pregame.
Yeah.
LSU didn't even have their pads on.
Right.
Upper body.
Everybody knows that when you go play LSU, their fans are toxic and their players are toxic. They love to talk that noise. And you know what? A lot of those kids aren't even from Louisiana, but they act like they are. What? And so either way, you can't go over there and get into it, because when you do, this is the kind of stuff that happens, And so how does that make you feel about the way everything's going on with Florida right now, Jeff? Seeing how the coaching staff is struggling because you got Billy Napier there. Fans are calling for his resignation. They're wanting him to be fired. How does this look even worse? Because now, not only are you having penalties that are like stupid penalties during the game, now you're having your coach being, suspended because he was a part of it. He was acting like he was a player. And, it can't be good for the faculty. It can't be good for the college. It can't be good for the football team, even if you are, playing in Louisiana. See how drop that on there?
Yeah, I see that. This looks horrible for Napier. And he didn't do it ahead of time because SEC was in on this too. It was both of them. It was the school and SEC.
Yeah, so he didn't get ahead of it.
He didn't get ahead of it.
Yeah, and so that tells you
can't
something
control
else.
your own guys. Pre-game? Come on. I mean, during the game, you lose your temper, right?
Yeah, because you're touching and, pushing and your egos.
At the end of the game, there was a pushing match.
Yeah.
On the goal line. And LSU was, that's why I was like, heck with it. Yeah, just go ahead and score on them. Shut them up. Get them off the field. Get all those defensive guys who are all pumped up right now off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sure I'll get a Hurricane reply on this one. I mean, the Hurricanes are famous for, just punch them in the mouth,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even, all of your coaches. I mean, look at Urban Meyer back in the day. If he had an opportunity to run it up, he was going to run it up.
Yeah. And you know why Jimmy Johnson did that at Miami?
Why?
Because Maryland came back on him one time. Just one time. He learned his lesson that he was not going to take the foot off the pedal. And it was Frank Reich, the Buffalo Bills guy. He was the quarterback for Maryland, and it's the biggest college comeback in history of college football.
Oh, wow.
And Frank Reich has achieved that.
Yeah.
On Jimmy Johnson's Hurricanes because he took the foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
And then they came back and beat him.
Did you watch that game, the LSU? Did you watch the LSU game?
I watched some highlights. I was at dinner, so catching the TV and my peripheral and my phone and whatever else I could.
So you saw five interceptions from Lagwag.
I did see that.
And then did you see that Nussmeier threw a fourth quarter interception? And he walked off like it was no big deal, like nothing ever even happened.
He's fired up.
I'm fired up.
That would bother the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you.
If Aguilar did that, and it was the game, the game wasn't on the line. It was a 10-point lead.
That ain't nothing in college football.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, you can turn
especially giving the ball up. And I know it was like 3rd and 27. I get that, but at least get a little punt in or a field goal or anything in at that point.
Yeah. Do y'all believe that Napier with his 18, because I've been talking to a lot of people, and we're going to dive into it on Friday, obviously, but I do want to see what you think about it, Brandon. When you look at what they have coming up, which is horrible, I mean, everything you can think of is going to probably happen. Do you think he lasts? I mean, because you got two things about this whole deal.
Yeah.
You can pay him his $18 million. $18 million for a big college like Florida is nothing. They can handle that. That's not a problem. A booster probably could write that check, no problem. But the crazy NIL, the crazy portal, the crazy stuff is that if your coach leaves during the middle of the season, the portal opens and you can get out of there.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think Florida's thinking? Do you think that's the number one thing Florida's trying to do? Because obviously Florida's got to have a big-time hire. Florida's got to bring somebody in there that's going to be a splash. It can't be Southwest Texas's offensive coordinator that's, doing 600 yards a game. It can't be Cliff Kingsbury that's up there at the Washington Commanders. It's got to be somebody that is like a splash. It's got to be a Gruden. It's got to be, people talking about Dabo Sweeney. It's got to be, it's got to be somebody with a big splash. It could be Jimbo Fisher. Like, who knows? I would even say, even though this probably is not a good hire, but Coach O is a big splash. He's a big splash. They need a big splash at Florida. So do you think the one real reason why they're not super going to throw Napier away, go ahead and pay him his money, is because of the portal? Is that the number one thing?
I would think yes, because you're right. If they don't get the big splash, they can't afford to fire him and have an interim head coach. And then players are like, who's our coach? What does the future hold? What does my future hold? They're gone. Kids have no patience these days. They're not bound by their contracts. They're up and they're out. So, like you said, I think that the only they were ready to fire Billy last year. They were until DJ threw the ball away, got won them like 8 straight or whatever. That ended up saving his season. Now, I'm telling you, they're going to go 1-5 according to the schedule. And I think until they have a big name head coach, they are not going to let go of them because they're going to be back at square one. They're going to lose all the recruits.
Coach O did this twice. When they fired a coach at USC, Coach O became head coach and went like 4-1.
Yep.
He proved himself, and they didn't give him the job.
They gave
Sarkisian the job.
Yep.
And then Les Miles gets fired. Coach O steps in.
Does good.
Does good and everything. And they were about to bring in Tom Herman from University of Houston.
Yes.
And Coach O got the job. Again, well, this time he got the job. The other time he didn't. Seeing somebody step up and do something, very, very rare. So you're
more
right.
than once, too.
Yeah, but one person did it twice.
Exactly.
But he didn't get the job one time. The other time he did. And he won a national title with that team.
Yeah.
If he was given the opportunity.
And Sarkisian at USC ended up showing up drunk at a function with the boosters.
Allegedly.
And got fired. So there you go.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this. As far as the portal goes, as far as the way everything is set up, has it ruined teams to be able to hold on to their players? Like, how does it make you feel that they've got an opening when the coach leaves like that there's an opening for the team to be able to go? Because, everything has kind of solidified down to the player. We're worried about the player. We're worried about his money. We're worried about his finances. We're worried about his future. And that's all fine and dandy. But the team, what happens, you possibly, now just bear with me for the moment, just to kind of, talk the impossible, but let's just say it out loud. Say they fire Napier, they get blown out by Miami, they fire Napier, and then the portal opens, and all of your offensive starters and half of your defensive starters have already been talking to Alabama, had already been talking to Georgia, Louisiana, LSU, all Ohio State, all of these places, and they all leave, and they all go, or half of your offensive team and half of your defensive team. And then now you don't even have your quarterback. Say DJ says, you know what? Y'all did Billy wrong. I've already made $2 million from last year. I've got $1 million already from this year. I'm out. And he leaves and goes and signs with somebody else. How does that make you feel? Because being it all about the kids can kind of be a little bit selfish in that regard. It doesn't make me feel good. I'll go first because we're not tied to the players, the kids, even though we root for them when they go to the NFL or whenever they start a business or when they go in life. We root for them. We've had former players from the University of Alabama come on this show. Coach Hale has had them on his show from different colleges and things like that. And so we cheer for them. We love them. We're fans of them. But let's don't get it twisted. I'm a fan of the University of Alabama. You're a fan of the University of Tennessee. You're a fan of the LSU Tigers. And that organization, that team, no matter who's playing, no matter who's the coach, because you've been in good years and you've been in bad years. I've been in good years. I've been in bad years. You've been in good years. You've been in bad years. And so realistically, the game has shifted now to be more about the players than it has been about the teams. And how does that make you feel, especially like somebody like that's your age? You've been a fan for a long time and you love your team. How does it make you feel knowing that, that now the rule is if the coach leaves, so can you. You can go do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want to do for yourself. Who cares about the team?
There's a lot less commitment. And that's what makes me love the people who stay in Louisiana to play football. Because LSU just signed a 2027 quarterback from Shreveport today.
Yeah.
Who's a pocket passer. And he's supposed to be going to be the best pocket passer from his year and all that. And then you lose people like, you don't like Ohio State.
No.
Sayan's up there. Caleb Downs up there. Are you still fans of those guys?
No, I'm not.
What about Jalen Hurts who went to Oklahoma?
No, I'm not. Not as much.
Okay.
Not as much. No.
Yeah.
I'm more fans of Tua and Mac than I am of Jalen because he left. Yeah. And I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. He did what was best for him. I get it. Yeah. But Saban was loyal to him. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Coach Saban was loyal to Jalen. Mm-hmm. And to me, I know they told him Tua's going to be the starter. We'd love for you to stay. We'd love for you, but whatever's best for you to go. How does that make you feel? We got about a minute left.
Yeah, I'm along these same lines. We're fans of the university, not the players. When Nico left, I'm now not a fan of Nico. Squirrel White left with Florida State. I'm not a Squirrel White fan. We're fans of the university. I think you're right. I mean, there is no commitment here. And I think that the kids who do stay and the kids who do battle it out have the utmost respect. I think it takes a little bit of the traditionalness away and the nostalgia away from college football.
How do you feel about Lane Kiffin?
Oh, no! Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, listen up real quick. Facebook, a big Florida State fan says it's hard to build a team with the transfer portal, but you did it. Either way, you're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone service.
The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Sunday, it's an NFL doubleheader. First, the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Coverage starts at 3. Kickoff at 3:25. Followed by the 0-2 Chiefs at the New York Giants. Sunday Night Football. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN. Touchdown! Northwest Florida.
Good evening, this is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind at 2 miles per hour coming out of the north-northwest and the low of 72. Tomorrow morning, look for a light breeze and sunshine with a temperature near 86. The afternoon and evening, a high around 88 and sunshine. Friday, very warm with a high of 88 and sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they will get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The kings of the swamp.
Ball's loose at the 38. Gators got it. Wow.
The Gators renew their rivalry with the Miami Hurricanes.
Foot race down the near sideline. 20, 15, 10, the 5. Touchdown, Gators.
On your home for Florida football.
Gators at Hurricanes. Saturday, kickoff at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida airs the biggest games of the week from the SEC, ACC, and beyond. If it matters in college football, it's on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Time it is. It's 5:02 on a Wednesday here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. We're having a blast. You made it. You're off work now. Now it's time to have fun. Whether you're going to get something to eat or whether your wife is cooking or you're going to cook when you get home. Either way, we're glad to have you. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line. I've got the guys in the building. Tennessee Brandon's in the house. LSU Jeff's in the house. Bone Crushers crushing the ones and twos. We're having a blast here. You know, when we look at it, we got to look at one thing and one thing only. We've got to look at Georgia at Tennessee this weekend. Man, what a game. What an expression of offense. What a dynamic play each team would make. It was a back and forth battle. Everybody knew going into this game that it was going to be one of those games that would mark the year at which direction, which way each team was going to go. And seeing that game at Tennessee, the only thing that would have made it better would be if it was at night. Being in the daytime, it kind of loses its lackluster for me. It was loud, but I just think at night it would have been so much better. Brandon, you being the Tennessee fan, being the analyst here for us, we have to dive into it. Give me what you liked first about the Tennessee offense.
Well, first of all, game of the year candidate. I mean,
it's early.
It is early, but I mean, come on now.
For Joey?
No, for just the game in general. The back and forth, the rock'em sock'em, the overtime, the thrill, the comeback. I mean, we lost the game. Tennessee fan here saying that could be game of the year. I mean, of course. Only thing that would have made it better, Paul, is Tennessee would have won. Not if it was a night game, if Tennessee would have won. No, I mean, I'm extremely happy with not necessarily the outcome, but what transpired, what I seen. I mean, I thought we had lightning in the bottle when we go up and score in our first three drives, and we're up 21-7, and it's looking good. And I'm thinking, this is the year. This is the offense.
Hold on just a second. Give me a second. Wait a minute. Now, we talked about this last Wednesday.
We did.
We talked about how that they're going to jump out on Georgia right out the gate. I told you. I said, watch what happens. They're going to do what they did against Syracuse. They were going to jump on Georgia just like Alabama did last year at home. And what happened? That's all I wanted to say. I was right.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, typically we don't score more than 20 on a Kirby Smart Georgia. I mean, it was a little different. We scored 21 in the first quarter, so I mean that's what was looking different. Typically in those third and fourth quarters, we're getting blown out, and then we are down by a touchdown or two, and that never happened. We stayed right there. Great things out of Joey. I mean, we had 2 interceptions, but we had 4 touchdowns. We had 371 yards in the air. I mean, it was pretty remarkable. I think they needed to let him cook a little more with him and Brazel in that second and third quarter where we went a little stale. There was a few drives where we did not put up the points we did. I feel like later in the game we kind of got back to that. We got a little more back to our explosive plays. Put him in positions to go make some plays, and Chris Brazel has really kind of come to light and been a really good receiver.
That dude is a stud.
Yeah.
6 catches, 177 yards, 3 touchdowns. A stud. Now, people have said in the back of Georgia's defense they don't look that good, but I'm just telling you, Kirby was a defensive back. Coach Saban's a defensive back. Those guys knew where they needed to be. They're 5 stars. This kid just balled out. And that's one of the things about being a good football team. If you can have a quarterback that can find a receiver that can be his go-to guy when the game gets tough, when things start to happen, when teams have to double somebody, you're going to leave somebody else open.
Yeah, he wasn't this last year. I've been watching a couple interviews with him post-game, and they're asking him, hey, what is the difference between last year and this year? Why have you come to the forefront this year than last year? He's just more comfortable.
He said Nico.
No, we won't go there yet. However, no, it's just being more comfortable in this kind of I don't want to say complicated, but very in-depth offensive scheme. A lot of players I've heard in their first year or so do a lot of thinking. He's done with the thinking. He knows the offense. He can go out there and be an athlete and play ball. So that's really his biggest jump, is he's gotten real comfortable with the offense, and why you've seen a huge production in him.
Joey Aguilar, I mean, we can go ahead and say it. I mean, that's his first big game. We talked about being, someone that hasn't played a lot of big ball games, somebody that, you know, coming in, everybody had Gunnar Stockton as being, because he's had experience and he's played more, he's been the guy. Yeah, even you said, he played some big games last year, and he has the experience on Joey Aguilar because Joey Aguilar played low-level football. And so when he can... We'll have to rewind the tape. You can look confused all you want.
No, preseason, I was not talking about Gunnar.
No, you were saying when we were talking last week about the 2 quarterbacks.
What, he had like two starts and then 1 playoff start, and that was it? It wasn't a whole lot.
But when you were weighing it against
more
Joey,
than Joey, Joey had nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
There
now, are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So now we can all agree, though, that Joey Aguilar, he's a star. He really is. Now, is he first-round draft pick now because of this? Let's let that...
Slow the roll.
Let's wait a second.
Yeah.
Is he one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the SEC? Absolutely. As of right now,
We'll
he
agree
is.
with that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, in the top 5 of the SEC right now, yes. And so when you look at Aguilar, when you look at what he did, how he played, he just seemed like what you said, Brandon. He seemed like he was comfortable.
Yeah.
And 24 for 36, 371 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he did have 2 picks. Now, that's the big thing about Georgia defense. They know how to turn the ball over.
Well, one of those picks wasn't his fault. Let's go ahead and say it. Receiver slip went right to the guy. I mean, it was an anticipation throw. I mean, speaking of quarterbacks having to know exactly where everybody is and what they're playing, he threw exactly where he'd been throwing to him all practice, all week, right there. Mm-hmm. Receiver slips, goes right to the defender. So, I mean, I'm not going to, hold him hard to, but yeah, you're right. Nonetheless, still 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the thing that is kind of crazy to me, though, is Star Thomas, 9 carries for 60 yards. He led the team. I thought, honestly, I guess maybe because the Heupel offense, I was just thinking that there was going to be more rushing. I thought they would run the ball a lot more.
Georgia's defense is stout. I don't know if you've seen them up front and know the kind of players they have on that front D line and their linebackers.
Still.
I mean, I'm still going back to the dang All-Star selections you were reading before and all the Georgia players. That's the defense we had to play. If you remember reading all of their All-American picks, we got them on the back end. We knew where to attack. Joey was comfortable. We have faith in Joey, and the coaching staff does. That it kind of is obviously and apparent that we did. We opened up the playbook and we let him throw the ball. We weren't able to run it like we are on some of these other teams. Yeah, you're right. Star Thomas, we only had 1 rushing touchdown on the ground, and that was Joey Aguilar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't really do much on the ground, but we took what we could get, and so we took some in the air.
So he threw 4 TDs, and he ran 1 in?
Yes.
Yeah. And you only had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So everything was Joey.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's insane. Now, the back and forth thing that you kept on saying, that's only for the second half. Because the first half, when they jumped out 21-7, I was like, oh, maybe Tennessee's got this one. And then what did Georgia do? 20 points in a row. It wasn't back and forth in the first half.
No, I know.
But the second half was the whole back and forth.
Same thing they did with Alabama last year.
Not exactly.
Almost.
Because Georgia did not bounce back immediately against Bama last year.
No,
and there was such a huge lead that, people were turning the TV off.
Right.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, they're not going to come back on this one. And then they came roaring back. It was insane, but there was not enough time, obviously. And they probably would have fell short anyway with the extra 5 or 6 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, but, I mean, when you look at the way Joey Aguilar played, I mean, we can't give him enough respect coming into a big game like that at home. Like you said, giving him the keys. And, you know, I mean, don't forget, guys. Let's don't act like that. You know, you can just grab a quarterback and bring him into a system, because you can't. You can in the pros when they've been established as a quarterback and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in college. Colleges are different. And he came from App State, right?
App State, yeah.
Okay.
App State to UCLA, and was literally waiting to, you know, be a part of that team. And then here comes Nico walking through the front door. He's like, oh, looks like Tennessee's got a spot. It was something that, you know, it was just made to be, and be honest with you.
That's like a 3-hour drive from Boone, North Carolina to Knoxville.
Yeah,
it's not
far.
Across the mountains.
Yeah, so he's familiar. I'm sure he went to Knoxville to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, possibly you know. But because there's nothing in Boone.
Let's ask a question real quick. I mean, I know there's a lot of games left in the season. There's going to be some upsets, a bunch of upsets. Tennessee beats Alabama. There's a small possibility this could be SEC championship played in Atlanta versus these two teams.
Well, we talked pre-show.
Yeah.
You know, and beginning when we first started about 4 weeks ago, we weren't really looking, you know, hard at that Oklahoma game at home. We were thinking, you know, hey, Oklahoma at home, y'all be good. I mean, Mateer's turning out to be a really, really good quarterback. In a couple of weeks, they're going to be a top 10 team. So, I mean, that game is becoming tougher and tougher on our schedule. I do believe we can kind of take that we haven't won there in quite some time. Take that Florida game off, not as worried about that, and just go ahead and move up the Alabama and Oklahoma game as our two toughest games left on our schedule.
Yeah, but
it's not about y'all, though. I think it's about Texas only having to play Georgia. I think it's about Ole Miss having to play only Georgia and LSU, you know? And, I mean, Bama, I don't want to say they have to beat Georgia, but they kind of have to beat Georgia to really kind of be in that SEC championship talk.
Yeah.
Because 2 losses, I don't think – Georgia had 2 losses last year in the SEC. I don't think that's going to be good enough this year. I think there's going to be either undefeated in 1 or one loss playing the SEC championship.
Yeah. No.
And Tennessee's got to beat Bama. Tennessee's got to beat Bama to make it to the SEC championship.
I think there's going to be. I think y'all are wrong, both of you. I think there's going to be more 10-2 teams in the SEC, and it's just going to be a tiebreaker on who goes to the SEC championship.
So you think there's going to be a 10-2?
Yeah, I think there'll be 10-2s. But I think because you've got a good Oklahoma team, I think Ole Miss can sneak up and get you. I think Tennessee's good. I think Alabama, they might have righted the ship. I think Georgia's good. I think LSU's good. I just think there's too many good teams that could beat you at any given night, depending on just the circumstance of winning. And I think you'll have a 10-2 with a good Oklahoma. And then everybody's already throwing away Texas because of how bad Arch Manning has looked. But realistically, they still got a bunch of 5 stars, and you can't count out Sark. I don't care. He's been there now. He knows what he's doing. You just can't just turn them away and say, oh, well, they're probably going to lose 3 games now because they didn't look so good. Just remember, everybody and their mama's talking about how great Ohio State is. They went to Columbus with Arch's first actual, my team start, and they didn't look good, and they only lost by 7 points. So, whatever. I mean, the Texas can still be legit.
Texas doesn't even look like a top 10 team right now.
Right. They don't.
And that's something I have, whatever.
But Bama's definitely the best chance at a 10-2 slipping into SEC championship.
I don't know.
Because it's an out-of-conference game.
Yeah, that possibly.
Okay, yes,
possibly.
I would agree.
But
with that.
you got to look too. Like, don't lose it over the fact that there's a possibility that at the end of the year, Georgia takes a loss to Georgia Tech, just depending on how good they are. And then if they have lost to one of the teams that they've played over the deal, that's a 10-2 as well. So what I'm saying is, there's so many good teams inside the SEC, but then out of conference this year being actually pretty good. The ACC's pretty good. The Big Ten's pretty good on those teams. So that's the deal. Georgia, who's their out of conference play? You know what I mean? That Georgia Tech. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then, you got Texas. They played their out of conference. Ohio State, they lost. Alabama played their out of conference. They lost to Florida State. Mm-hmm. So that's the key. That's where you're at. You know what I mean? That was going to be LSU's deal. They played Clemson, but they beat them this time. It hadn't happened in a long time, but now it did. So now they have a good shot at being 10-1 or 11-1, 10-2, and because are they going to have a night where Nussmeier those 3 interceptions? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, with all the things, because let's look at Georgia real quick. Let's talk about them because Gunnar Stockton coming in 23-31, and he had 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, mm-hmm. and the thing is and it's something that one of the listeners on Facebook said is that you really can't defend the deep ball. Because there were some passes that only the wide receiver could catch them for Georgia, and they caught it. You know what I mean? He threw the ball good right over the top of his shoulder and in the end zone, and that was it.
One thing that stood out to me is the freshman they had to bring in with the bigger arm to be able to get the ball down to the end zone. First pass in his collegiate career, throws an interception. Poor guy.
Yeah.
But I was thinking you pulled Stockton out. I mean, obviously, is it one you're trying to maybe save the interception on his stat line? Or 2, this kid actually got a stronger arm than him. And I thought that was just a little peculiar. He played well. I mean, he had a 93 QBR. He did go 23 for 31, like you said, 2 touchdowns, 300 yards. I mean, he played a well game.
I mean, is Georgia legit, though? Is Georgia a team that when your team plays them now, after seeing them play at Tennessee, are they legit, though? Is Georgia a legit contender for the national title sitting right there, right now?
They just threw 72% completion rate at Tennessee against Tennessee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No matter how they looked in the first quarter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They had 200
the way they
yards
bounced
rushing.
back like a rubber band.
Yeah.
Down by 2 touchdowns.
And is it that you have confidence in Kirby Smart? Is that the deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, if there's any other coach in the SEC, I'd be like,
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they're tested. They've been there, since 19? They've been doing it, getting in there and winning. And, I mean, they are they're a big backbone team of the SEC, kind of like, Alabama was about 15 years ago, I think.
The math ain't mathing on that one, dog.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to have double what they have as credentials for right now because they're 2-1 in the national championship.
Yeah.
Georgia, because they won back-to-back, and then they lost that one back against Bama in, 17 or whatever year that was.
Tua. Yeah.
But I don't know, Bama carried it for so long, but I do think that fight barrier is being handed over, and it has been for the last 3 or 4 years, to be honest with you, with, Georgia.
The baton's been passed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, with Saban leaving, that didn't help. If Saban was still there, I don't think the baton would be passed because he beat Kirby. He beat everybody. He did lose, but don't forget now, and we're going to have to go back in time. If you remember when Bryce Young was there, Jamison Williams, who's the wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, he was killing Georgia in the first half, and he got hurt. And then Mechie, who just signed with the Eagles, was playing with the Texans last year, was killing Georgia when Jamison Williams went out. Mechie went out. So our 2 top wide receivers went out against that Georgia team that was the back-to-back champion with Stetson Bennett. Yeah. So if you look at that team, barring those 2, and I know injuries are a part of the game, but let's don't forget how they got there. They got there, and then they won big when they did win. And that game, you could say, and I know people always do this kind of garbage, and I don't necessarily love it, but that was the national championship. When Georgia beat Alabama in that SEC championship, that was the 2 best teams in college football at that time.
Yeah, it was.
And that's the thing. So, I agree with you. Had Saban not left, no, the baton hadn't been passed. But with Saban gone and now a new sheriff in town. Now, let me ask you this about Georgia real quick. Does it alarm you, though, if you were a Georgia fan, that your quarterback had 14 carries for 73 yards and he led the team in rushing? And Gunnar Stockton, if you look at him, he can get outside the pocket a little bit, but he's not, we're not talking about, 4.5, 4.4 speed here. We're talking, 4.8, 4.9, I would expect. But, you know what I mean? If you were a Georgia fan, put your Georgia fan on right now, would that alarm you a little bit?
Absolutely, because there's only so many times where you give up on any wide receiver getting open and just give up on the pass play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because for me, I'm thinking, okay, what is Georgia known for? Good defense, being able to run the ball, and again, once they try to stack the box on you, now we're going to play action.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no longer the case because the running backs were non-existent. I mean, can you name the running back that was running the ball for Georgia who got the ball?
I think you made a good point a couple weeks ago. It's probably one of the first years that I can't really name like a super notable player maybe on like the Georgia Bulldogs team like they've had in sometimes the past. They have a lot of talent. But
who was the guy at the Rams that played at Georgia as a running back? Played at the Rams.
Todd Gurley?
Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which he was before Kirby,
and
so
Nick
he didn't win.
Nick Chubb. These are guys, Garrison Hurst back in the 90s. I mean, these are running backs that...
No Sean Marino?
They kind of need... No Sean Marino.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are running backs that they kind of need right now to finish completely, to have a full team.
Yes.
But they did allow 41 in overtime, right? It was overtime?
Yeah, we allowed 38 is what we scored in regulation.
38 in regulation. That's a lot of points to be given up to a ranked team.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not so concerned with that because I think Kirby will make the adjustments and they'll learn from it. I think the defense will be just fine. And obviously, you know, Aguilar, they didn't really have a lot of tape on him. That still matters about not knowing what the quarterback can do. But when you look at it, Georgia, that's something right there that's probably a little concerning to me to look at, to see that Georgia did not impose its will at times of running the football with their running back. And so if you want to say that that's a big deal, I'm going to say that's a big deal. If I was a Georgia fan, that would be a problem for me. So that's just one of the things. I'm excited about it, but we're going to have to take our next break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide a little bit, and we're going to get into some of our picks for this week coming up. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
You've got to have a bad game at some point.
Feel the burn.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama!
The Red 7T studio line.
This could go 7 games.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get in the game.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind at 2 miles per hour coming out of the north-northwest and a low of 72. Tomorrow morning, look for a light breeze and sunshine with a temperature near 86. The afternoon and evening, a high around 88 and sunshine. Friday, very warm with a high of 88 and sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Krispy Kreme Donuts has whipped up a little magic for Harry Potter fans. A donut collection inspired by the House of Hogwarts, the Sorting Hat, and a shimmering golden latte. The Harry Potter collection now available for a limited time at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the SEC.
Arnold deep shot to the end zone.
Jackson Arnold leads the 3-0 and 22nd ranked Auburn Tigers into Oklahoma to face his former team, the 3-0 11th ranked Sooners.
Kickoff Saturday, 2:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line 850-215-6290. We're having a great day here on Wednesday. We appreciate you listening. And you know what? We're excited to have Brandon in the building. We got Jeff in the building and Bone Crusher still hitting the ones and the twos. We're thankful for all of you guys for being here and having a good time. Now we get to the team that we want to talk about, the team that I'm wearing on my shirt, the Alabama Crimson Tide, who soundly beat the Wisconsin Badgers 38-14. Ty Simpson looking like who they've been telling us he is in practice. Now, guys, he's been doing really good. He's got some good statistics going on here. But before we do that, somebody, a local Miami fan, wanted to come in and say Georgia, LSU, Auburn are all getting exposed very soon. So Miami fan says that Georgia, LSU, and Auburn are going to be exposed soon.
So I wonder if he's speaking about Auburn losing to Oklahoma this weekend. And then the following weekend, Georgia's playing Alabama, I guess. That's like the exposure. And LSU will be playing at Ole Miss.
So that's what he's talking about.
This isn't out of the realm of possibility, But he is a Hurricanes fan. This isn't Chris, right?
It is Chris.
It is Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Don't repeat what you always say, Chris. You really don't like LSU, Jeff. It's all right. I'm okay with, I don't know. If these Hurricane fans keep on talking so much, yeah, it might get a little irritating. But right now, I still love you, Chris.
What did you say about Miami fans, though?
No. I did not say everything.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I mean, they were
kind of did.
They were pretty boisterous in the past, But,
yeah.
Actually, it's more the Seminole fans keep on talking that chitter chatter about, what is it they say? Oh, you're holding on to the past. You hadn't won in 24 years, and that kind of bull.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're pretty toxic back and forth, but. Oh my God! I can't imagine what it's going to be like when they play each other.
Yeah, it's going to be really
that
pretty
week's
wild.
going to get pretty toxic,
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about this Alabama team. They're starting to put it together. They're looking good. So Ty Simpson, he was 24 for 29. The big thing about him is that he's starting to be more, accurate. It just seems like they're getting their footing on where they're supposed to be and all that.
So you watched the game?
Yeah.
Did you watch the first half?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel like Wisconsin was a little slower on defense?
Yeah, they were.
And a little bit smaller.
Smaller, slower.
It's not looking good. But on the first drive, Bama got 6 or 8 yards and then punted. No first down.
Yeah, nothing.
That was not good. And then they just turned everything on from that point.
Yeah,
boom, 3 touchdowns. They're up 21-0 at half.
Yeah, 382, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He also had 6 carries for 25 yards. Ryan Williams, 5 receptions, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And then to open the second half is Ryan Williams' 75-yard catch.
Yep.
That kind of electrified the whole stadium.
Yeah, that was kind of
Now,
the
wasn't
deal.
Ty Simpson your leading rusher as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, does that worry you?
So that's where we need to go.
Okay.
Because you've got to run the football in the SEC. So I am very, you punched me before I could get going here. But when you look at it, you've got to have running backs. You've got to be able to run the football. You cannot let your quarterback be your leading rusher. That is not winning football. That is not going to work in the SEC moving forward. You can't do it against bigger teams. You can't do it against faster teams. This is a problem for Alabama. I think having Jam Miller out of the lineup has been a problem. We don't have the running backs of yesteryears. We don't have 3 or 4 that are sitting there that are going to be NFL stars from, back in when we had Trent Richardson and TJ Yeldon and Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake and all of these guys being that Mark Ingram. Like, we can't just not be able to run the football. And it's like what you said earlier, Jeff, is the fact that whenever you need 3 yards, whenever you need 2 yards, whenever you got 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you got to be able to know that you're going to hand it ball back to your running back and he's going to get you the yards. That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team. This Alabama team, I don't want a West Coast offense. I don't want a Washington style offense out here. Let's just throw the ball around. Because why? Because you saw why. When you get down to the place where you're having to come from behind and all you can do is be one-dimensional and throw the ball, and if you're off just a little bit and your wide receivers aren't catching just a little bit, then you're going to run into a big problem. You got to be able to run the ball. You still have to run the football in the SEC. Yes, you can beat Wisconsin. Yes, you can beat Louisiana Monroe without running the football. But come next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, you better be able to run the football against Georgia, or you're going to be finding yourself in a big hole, and you're only going to be able to throw the ball coming out against Georgia.
Yeah, you said it pretty good. The Georgia, you said Gunnar Stockton was their leading rusher. Yeah, it's 70 yards. Your leading rusher had 25 yards.
25.
And he had one long run of 19. So 19 of his 25, he got on one. And that was probably a broken down play, get downfield, slide, So, yeah, I think that's something to worry about. It seems like it is, with that Georgia, that Tennessee, that Alabama, we all kind of look a little one-dimensional. We all want to do more, but the thing is, very one-dimensional against an ordinary Wisconsin team. It seems like
45 total rushing yards for all of our running backs together. 45. We had 3 different running backs to run the football, and they all together had 45 yards of running the football. That's horrible. That's horrendous. That's not SEC football. That's not winning football, even though you beat a lackluster Wisconsin team. It's got to get better. Now, not only that, we gave up a 95-yard kickoff return. Now, how about that? That's not good either. You got problems when you're giving off a team that should not even their fastest kid probably is a 4.5 40. You know what I mean? And we probably got several 4.3s, 4.4s, whatever. You know what I mean? You can't give up a 95-yard kickoff return. You can't do those things. So realistically, if you want to know, am I excited about beating a lackluster Wisconsin team? Absolutely not. That did not even help me feel good about this Alabama team. But either way, they've got to figure it out. And hopefully, and I'm pretty sure this is going to happen, I think Jam Miller is coming back. He's been practicing a little bit. He's back on the field. So that's hopefully going to help us, because don't forget, the running back from Michigan is from Alabama. He left. Hayes. He left. And so, that was our 1-2 punch from last year. And realistically, we're going to be okay, hopefully, when Jam Miller comes back. I guess we'll have to see in the next 2 weeks. So
you don't have what used to be called a running back room.
Right. No. We don't. And but we've got 5 stars there. I'm just going to be very transparent and open and honest. And, maybe this might be too much, but I'm not so sure if it's not the talent, but it's the play calling and what they're trying to do.
So you think he's bringing that Washington offense to Alabama and trying to, traditionally not do what Alabama's done, play defense and run the ball. That's how y'all have dominated for so long.
Schemes and using the line. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. And let me ask y'all this question. Trivia.
Okay.
Name the last running back from Washington that made it to the pros.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There is some. I just can't name it.
I don't know.
Is there?
There is.
There you go.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Am I timed on this?
I don't know.
I'll probably run out of time.
Well, you can look it up, but I don't know of any right off the top of my mind. So either way, that's not what Kalen DeBoer has done, and that's not successful football. I mean, okay, fine. You made it to the playoff with a Michael Penix, but they had an easier way to get there. And so, but whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to say. But realistically, this is a scary time for Alabama football fans, at least for me, because of the lackluster running of football. So either way.
Who's the quarterback for the Bengals right now?
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning.
He used to be the quarterback.
And so when I think of Washington, I think of Jake Browning, and I think of Warren Moon, which is a long time ago. But
yeah,
I think of quarterbacks and then a few wide receivers.
Yeah, but no running backs.
No running backs.
No, none at all.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure when we look up, we'll be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe. But not any time of Kalen DeBoer's time, though. I don't think there's any that's in there that, did anything.
And then we talked last week about Wisconsin, and they don't have running backs like they used to.
No, not at all.
And they were just replacing them like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like for a decade straight, they had running backs. So
yeah,
crazy good.
Even if you look right now, Jonathan Taylor is still really good. And that's where he came from, So either way,